How's it going, everyone? Wayne the Unknown here, and welcome to Geeking Out, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to, where we talk about everything nerd and geek related. I'm so used to doing the cosplay one, I almost talked about the intro for that one. Anyway, I am joined here by my second celebrity guest, Victoria Souter, who is best known for the roles of Nomi Coven.
Nomi, yeah.
And Star Wars Story of Bucketheads, Nerrena the Necromancer, and what was it? One Hit Die.
Yeah, that's quite a while back. Yeah.
What was the name of the title? The Lich.
Legend of the It's One Hit Die, and it was called The Legend of the Lich Lord.
I swear I did my research before we started.
Yeah, it's okay. And it was a necromancer queen called Nerrena. Yeah, it was quite
Thank
a while
you.
back.
And also the role of Cassandra Austen in DC Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So to begin, how long have you been acting for? What made you want to get into it?
I've been acting now probably for a good 10 years now.
So fairly
I don't like to keep track.
That's a fairly long time.
Who's counting?
Now you also before I ask more questions, you're also a singer, improviser, and writer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm very new to writing, and it's something that I encourage anyone to do, really, but actors to keep themselves busy in between auditions to write and express. And I'm very new to it, but I'm very excited about it. And singing has always kind of been a part of my makeup. My dad's a musician and likes to produce his music, and is awesome, and he inspires me. And I did musical theatre, so like singing, that's where I was like birthed into musical theatre, and so singing's just always been a part of my life and brings me joy. I've kind of had both ends of it. I've done musical theatre, and then I've also like fronted a band and like done top 40 hits and had so much fun doing that side of things as well.
Nice.
And then improvising is something I've been doing for the past few years, and now I've been doing shows for the past kind of 8 months to a year now as well, and really enjoying it. Improv is helped me grow a lot. Yeah.
I mean, I've checked out your IMDb. It definitely seems like you've done quite a few roles in the past 10 years.
Yeah, with TV and film. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was birthed into theatre in England, and then when I came to Canada, that's really kind of when I did do a little bit of film in England, but I wasn't trained. So I did all my training in Canada and kind of grew in Canada with the TV and film industry. Nice. And training.
Well, you answered my question of how you got into it and how long you've been doing it for.
Yeah.
Aside from that, what else made you want to get into acting and all this other stuff?
Yeah, I think for me, I was actually kind of late into it. I was only in my early 20s, and we'll leave that at that.
You don't need to tell your age here.
I mean, whatever. I don't really care. I mean, who cares? It's not like I'm ashamed but who cares? Just a number. But yeah, I remember, all I remember is in school, like when I was around, God, I think 13 or 14, I just remember that we had an opportunity. I took drama, and we had an opportunity to create our own performance. And we got to create it, cast it, direct it. And I was so inspired. Like, I love The Wizard of Oz, but I was so inspired by Oliver Twist and how like fun and funny and then gritty and dark it was.
That play can get pretty dark. I mean, I've never seen the play, but I've seen the movie, and the movie got pretty dark.
Yeah, it got really dark, and I was just fascinated how all of those things could be like on the same palette. Like, so I was just like, wow, I want to create something magical where it has all these, beautiful colors and journeys that happen, happy, sad, dark, whatever you want to call it. And I just remember we had this opportunity to do that, and it kind of lit something in me. And then throughout my school time, I just really enjoyed being in class in drama. I wasn't really like in every single play or anything, to be honest. I was just more curious about how you can kind of create things on stage and skew the mind into thinking that it's happened, and like the make-believe of it all. And then I kind of like, when I left school, I worked. Like, I left school when I was 17 and I just worked, and then up to 21, and then I just realized like something was missing in my life, and I couldn't, at first I couldn't figure it out. And then I realized it was acting, and it brought me back to that moment. I was like, oh my God, I miss creating, collaborating, and just being on stage and being with other people. And then I just like jacked in my job and just signed up for a musical theatre course, which was intense dance training at 21. Like, I was doing ballet at 21 and jazz and contemporary, and I was just so out of my realm. But it's a cool little story, because my sister was working in radio, and she had, at the time, she heard that there was like this competition coming down the pipe, and so she kind of like teased me into it. And then I applied, and they were looking for people that had like potential and the things, and I was probably one of the oldest one there. And so you had an opportunity to audition for this 1-year training course, but if you were over 18 you had to pay. But if they saw the potential and you kind of won it, I guess, then they would give you the scholarship for free, so you would get it for free. And so it was singing, dancing and acting. The dancing was like,
I mean, you got to thank your sister though for giving you that little nudge to, you know, pursue what you want to do.
She's like, this is coming down the pipe, you should apply. And I was like, oh. And then so I went for it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and, you know, figure this out. And the dance training was just so over my head, and I just remember like feeling so overwhelmed. I'm like, I cannot handle this is insane. But I just went for it, and then the singing was fun and the acting was great, I thought. And then I put it behind me, you know, I went home in tears, like I fell over in the dance, and you know, whatever you go through at a young age. And then I remember then the radio station had called me, and they were like, yeah, they loved you. They thought you like, just, even though like there was ups and downs, they were like, you went for it and you had potential, and like you had so much passion, and
you didn't give up.
The tears were after, behind the scenes, right? I was trying to like just go for it and like pick myself back up. So I fell over a few times going over the routines.
But you didn't give up though.
Yeah, I didn't give up.
And I think that's what the reason why they called you. You just kept on going.
Yeah, perseverance. And then they were like, you've won it. And we were like, oh my God. And so I did that for a year, and then it really kind of sparked the musical theatre in me, and like wanting to keep pursuing just acting and singing and dancing. But there was an opportunity, like I was auditioning for like the big schools in London and like trying to be that triple threat, but like I probably could have like pushed a bit harder, but there was just something about me that was like, man, the whole year I was in pain. I don't know if I could do this for 3 years. And I take my hat off to all those you know, kids at the time that did it, like all the guys and girls that did it. Man, they've got so much stamina and so much talent. And I was just real. I was just very real. And I was like, I'd rather put my passion and soul into singing or acting where I feel I could genuinely like rise up the ladder, versus dance. I was just about making it every time. Like I was just about doing it. And I thought, I don't know, 22, I graduated from that school. So I was like, can I do this for another 3 years? And I took the other route. I went more for the acting and the singing with movement and dancing, but it wasn't like aggressive.
It wasn't as like fast paced.
Yeah, exactly. I could handle it. And I had the best 3 years of my life, to be honest. Nice. I learned so much. And so that kind of, I never really was wanting to get into TV and film. I was just so fascinated, and I felt so lit by the stage, you know. You look at a blank stage, and there's just so much opportunity. There's just so much that can happen on a stage. It's just filled with so much that you can do up there. And of course you can do that in film, but there's editing and, it's all, but the stage is yours,
And you're also in front of a live audience too.
It's live, exactly. So if something goes wrong,
everyone will see it.
Yeah, you just got to have fun with it and own it.
Something like that.
Exactly. But then so like in England, I just I wanted to try and get into London and move there, but things just weren't working out for me. And then my mum moved over to Canada, which is where she was born. So she kind of moved back, but not to the same spot. And then I decided I was trying to move into London. I was trying to make it and get there, and just things kept falling through, and I just needed a break.
London's basically the Hollywood of if you think about it in a way, it's it's the Hollywood where people try to make it and make something out of themselves. And I managed to get an agent, and I got an audition for Dirty Dancing, the West End musical, and I got in, and not in, but I got a spot in there, and they did the dancing first, which was Latin inspired moves, and which I'd been doing some Latin inspired dancing, so I could handle that section of it. But then when it came to triple pirouettes, landing in the splits, I was like, I can do those individually if you just give me a minute, but I can't do them whoop, whoop, boom. No. Just being real and honest. So I was trying to get into London, but just things, trying to get a place, but things just kept falling through for me, and I just kept doing this. Like, I wasn't really going up, I wasn't really going out. I just felt a lot of back and forward.
And I just needed to regroup, reground, and just figure out what really was my next step. And when my mum moved to Canada, it was kind of a bit of a like, wow, this is happening. But then it gave me an opportunity to go to another country and see what was happening. And I just literally booked a one-way ticket and went out there, and I never looked back.
I mean, from what I've seen, it seemed to really paid off. You got to be in like a lot of short films, TV shows, and also you got to be in a major hit TV show such as DC Legends of Tomorrow.
So once I got to Canada, I did the training, got all the TV and film training, got really curious with that. And then I started off in Calgary, and then I came to Vancouver. And then realized, Calgary was great, and I loved Calgary, but it was time to move to a bigger pond, and I'm really happy I did, because there is so much opportunity out here, and there's lots happening out here, and it's beautiful out here, and we'll see if I stay. Who knows what's next.
No one ever knows what the future holds.
The beauty of the unknown.
Exactly. So when you moved to Canada, what was your first role when you moved to Canada, if you can remember that far back?
I think it was Hugogram, or I know I've done some shorts and stuff, but it was either Hugogram or Legend of the Lich Lord. It might have been Hugogram.
What's Hugogram? I've never heard of that.
Hugogram, it's great. It's Todd Kipp is the director and producer, and Nathan Lee Graham is in it, and it's about this guy. It's like back in 2015 or something. It's like quite a while back. I can't remember the exact date, but it's about this guy that works in a firm that delivers hugs, and he's a hugogram. So he goes up to, he knocks on people's doors. They order it, just like Skip, right? They order it, and but Skip wasn't around back then, obviously. But they order it, and then he goes and shows up, and they're like, "Oh, hi." And he's like, "I wonder what kind of hug these people will need." And people want to like express and talk, and he's just like, "No, just hug." And there's like weird and wonderful people that he kind of comes across. And my character in that is, and his boss is Nathan Lee Graham, who runs it, who's, you know, he just wants to keep leveling up and you know, wants the business to expand. And then he brings me in, who's the new office manager. And I've just got, you know, not really any experience, but I think, you know, but I'm a know-it-all. And he's like, who's this? She's old enough, you know, because I was a bit younger as well, but they're like, you know, she's coming as this office manager and she barely looks 18 kind of thing. So it was kind of fun to play against the grain and have fun. And it was I had probably one of the best experiences on that set, because it was, you know, kind of indie style project, and it was fun and super electric to work off against Nathan. Technique on the difficult ones says it makes their legs go numb.
My legs didn't go numb.
What?
Golden tried that technique on me once. Yesterday, actually. I'm not worried, Mark.
Benjamin, if you want this company to stay in business, you better worry.
And super fun and funny comedy, so it was great.
I'll have to look into.
Yeah, you can watch it on YouTube. I believe, that's it. It was a Story Hive Tellus like application that when they do the grants and things. Yeah.
Now, the fantasy comedy series One Hit Die, what was that like? Because I remember looking at it, and I noticed one of the writers or something was Mark Meer in it. So it's like I was kind of curious, what was it like playing in the YouTube fantasy comedy series One Hit Die?
I mean, it was great. It's basically, we're in the forest a lot. It was boiling hot. I had this heavy, it's about these 4 characters, you know, they're on a mission, they're on an adventure, etc. And then you've got these characters that come in and cause conflict, and they're all looking for the orb, and I'm now sent from the dark side to find it before they do. Like, there's all this stuff happening. It's super fun. And but they wanted me a bit more dry humor and a bit more whatever. Like, you want to grab it, go grab it. I'll send these guys to get it. Fine. Like, just a bit more like, you know, a bit more attitude, and like, just not really, like, she's serious about the mission, but it doesn't seem like anyone else is. So she's just like, what is happening?
The name you're going by these days.
You don't know me!
True. I once knew a man with great power, not the pitiful drunken fool I see before me. It's pathetic how far you've fallen. I know who you've fallen in with.
But yeah, it was super fun, but it was, my whole hair had to be like colored with this like snow white powder.
Oh, that wasn't a wig?
No, it was all my hair.
Oh geez, that must have took quite a bit.
About 3 hours.
I mean, I thought, like I said, I saw like clips and everything, and I thought that was a wig.
No.
Oh jeez.
All natural.
Oh, yeah, I can't imagine how many times, like you said, with the heat and everything, I can't imagine how many times I had to reapply, and then wearing all that black too.
Yeah, and the costume was custom made, and it was leather, and there was like
leather heat, don't
skulls
mix.
and bones and things. Not like, you know, but after a while, when everything is hanging down in the back piece, it became quite heavy. And then I was wearing heels for some height, not all the time, and then carrying my staff and like and just, yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoy, like, the more challenging, you know, the role is, or the environment, the circumstance. I really like get off on that. I think it's pretty cool. I get excited about that.
I mean,
it's like super challenging.
I mean, you got to, for example, recently you got to play as a stormtrooper in Star Wars. Buckethead's A Star Wars Story.
Oh yeah.
Now, what? Okay, I gotta say, what was it like playing in this? I mean, I know it was a fan film, but what was it like getting the chance just to play in anything Star Wars related?
Yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed Star Wars. Am I a, you know, a really kind of passionate fan? No,
There's
and I'm
nothing wrong.
quite,
there's nothing wrong with that.
and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm working on it. You know, like Star Wars is. But you know what's nice? I think because I've come in not, you know, a super fan, if you like. I feel like I'm coming in from a different place, and I'm coming more in the approach of like, I know the guys were inspired by like I think it's called Bands of Brothers, and you know, kind of like military. So I've got a little bit of military training in me, and so I've come from a like more of a military approach, and making sure as a female my voice is heard, and I'm stepping up to the plate, and I want to, you know, fulfill my father's legacy, and I've got something to prove.
Many more have died since. But you're the captain now. Doesn't matter if you wear a fancy garment or not. These men need a leader.
And I want to also, you know, be seen and earn my keep, kind of thing. You know, show them that I can do this, you know, as well. But the suit was great. Steve Davey like took care of me. I mean, everyone took care of me. Everyone was really nice, and because it took some adjustments, and if you're running or jogging or doing any kind of movement more than like, if you're walking at a slow pace, awesome, but if you like pick it up, jog, run, you know, you will get suit bites.
Yeah, I remember Steve telling me about that when I did an interview from a while back, that wearing the suits were not the most comfortable thing.
No, but it's kind of, that's the exciting part. That's all part of it. You know, I like that. That's cool. It's all part of it. And yeah, and the helmet is like, you know, your vision isn't great.
I was just about to ask, what was it like?
It's like green and then not much. And you can't really, like, if you like put your chin to your chest, you can see the floor. You cannot see the floor. You can see like in front a few feet. So you really have to kind of, so what we would do, we'd walk through, you know, we'd walk through everything, helmet off. We'd walk through everything, helmet on, and like touch walls and like make sure we've got everything kind of organized. And yeah, and everyone was super supportive and helpful. Yeah, it's great.
I mean, I gotta say, back in the 70s, there were no female stormtroopers. So seeing female stormtroopers now in like the movies, fan films, video games, it's honestly a cool thing to see.
Yeah, it's been pretty awesome, and we should continue to see more. I mean, being a female in such a strong role, hell yeah. I mean, we can totally handle this and do this. And what I really love is that she is a tough cookie in this. She's second in command, and she's not taking nothing.
So you basically have like one of the lead roles in Bucketheads.
Yeah, Troy Mundell is the lead. It's the story is through his lens, right? But yeah, I'm second in command, and we have a total of 5 episodes to shoot.
Yeah, I remember seeing something about how you guys are trying to get the funding for chapter 3.
Yeah, so right now what we're doing is we're shooting chapters because of, you know, this is non-profit and people are working when people are not getting paid. Yeah, people are not getting paid. So we get everyone when we can shoot all together, mostly on weekends, and then we just go for it and shoot as much as we can. And everyone is just working as this like well-engined oil team, positivity, fun, laughter. Like it's a good set.
Nice. Now,
Yeah.
how did you come about getting the role as Nomi Coven in Bucketheads?
So I had a friend of mine, Thomas Nicholson, who is a really good friend of mine, and we've studied together and trained together. And he kind of gave me a nudge, and he's like, "Have you seen this casting notice come out?" And I was like, "No." And he like showed me it, and then that was it. Fell in love, and I was like, "Woof, going for this." And then auditioned for it, and then yeah, got the role.
Nice. Nice.
Super
So,
fun experience.
no, I mean, it looks like from what I've seen, from the behind the scenes and the clips and the, both at chapter 1 and 2, it seems like, and the fan film, it seems like you guys had a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the characters are really fun to play. You feel very immersed in the character when you're in the suit. And now that the helmet's off, you get to really kind of like this, see them humanized.
And then, I mean, again, you never got to see that in the film, but seeing,
Right.
and I think honestly, Andy and Marco do a really good job with that.
Yeah, they really have. And you can see how much passion and how inspired they are to do this, and the hard work that they put in is unreal. And I feel very lucky and happy, to be a part of it. And I just can't wait to shoot more.
Hey, that's a good thing. One more about one of your other roles. What was it like playing as Cassandra Austen in the episode Seance and Sensibility of DC Legends of Tomorrow?
Yes. Yeah, that was a while back too. That was one of the first roles I booked when I moved to Vancouver. Yeah, it was. It's about 3 or 4 years ago now. It was great. Could I remember that audition? It was super fun. We had to, so and I didn't know this, but no, I did know this, but my scenes for that audition, were merged together. So I kind of like did my own kind of merging to make it work, because they were set in 2 completely different locations. So I like merged them together and made it work, which is super fun. That's like when you can get really creative and have fun in the audition. And then on set, like just moving, right? Go. And so, when you're starting out and you're on set, you just really need to be prepared, because you just don't know what's going to be thrown your way, and you don't know how quick you're going to be moving, and things could change. So, being really prepared and be ready to open and play is definitely a good place to when you get on set, especially for your first time. But it was great. Honestly, I had a really nice experience. And again, I have not had any bad experiences like to date.
Nice.
Everything's been great. Yeah, I've always felt well looked after, and just really enjoyed my time on set.
Nice. Now, have you ever, and I know this may be a double-edged question to some people, but have you ever had to use an American speaking role before with any of your characters, or have you always used your British accent?
Yeah, so there was a movie in MOW where I was like playing an officer. I was American for that. And for a short I did recently that's going around the festival circuit and winning some awards, called The Stepmom.
Nice.
That was it was set in Canada though, so slight differences, but yeah, and like I often audition in American, and but there's also lots of opportunity for British here in Vancouver, and opportunity to potentially give a different take depending on the character, the directors, writers, showrunners, tone of the show. Like you have to talk with your agent, but there is opportunity to potentially give another version, but that's a conversation that you have with your agent.
Nice, makes total sense. Now you just recently also started doing some writing. What has that been like?
Writing has been, I mean, I kind of started in COVID because, nothing to do. But yeah, I got really creative in COVID and just started writing. And I kind of told a good friend of mine about an idea, and they were like, you should write this. And I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, write it down. And then I just couldn't stop. I couldn't stop writing it. And so I've actually written a feature film, and I'm on my third draft, and we'll see what happens.
Mine, if you're able to mind sharing what the title is called and what it's about.
Oh my God, but it could change. Okay, I can't reveal. I don't want to reveal the title just in case it changes.
Totally
and
understandable.
what's it about, because there are lots of shifts happening right now in the story. But what I can tell you is it's a dark comedy.
Ooh.
With a strong female lead.
Hey.
And not me. No, I'm I'm a bit too old. I'd like to have someone younger for that. But yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, of course.
But it's always good to see more movies with strong female leads and not just the stereotypical damsel in distress hero macho man has to save her. Yeah, don't hate me, anyone on there. I'm just expressing my opinion on that.
Sure, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But also there's a short idea that I have that I want to start writing, but I feel, there's definitely challenges in this industry, and there's been I just want to be real with any other actors that are funny or difficult or anything, and it's like I have major quiet spells, and you question things, but I feel that in this industry, to kind of any new actors watching that potentially might be feeling a bit lost or unsure or frustrated in any way, I'd like to share some advice, because I think it's
you already answered my next question.
Yeah, well, I think it's important. There's no secrets here, and I like to be transparent. And for me, what I've learned, because I've really had some like quiet spells and low moments and just not getting anything. Like, it's been tough, and everyone around you, right, is on fire, and you have to try and keep yourself grounded with that. So for me, what's worked for me the most is just keep networking and keep talking with people. And if there's an opportunity to do like table reads, there's an opportunity to go and listen to something, or like there might be a cold reading series that you can get into. I felt for me personally, improv has opened up so many things for me.
You can be yourself with improv too.
Yeah, not just in my acting career, but in my personal life as well, of just being able to like not take things too seriously, and know that things will come and you're enough. But writing as well, there's so many things out there that can help you with writing. And if you're not getting out, and if you're not booking, and if you feel like, God, when's it going to be my turn, or all the frustration things that us as actors go through, we all have hit that point. Write something and write yourself a role, write yourself the lead role, and try and get it made and produced, and get it into a few festivals and see what happens. And yeah, so network, meet people, talk, keep talking about things and asking for help. Don't shy away, and try to anyway, and write things for yourself. I think is the best thing I've done, has helped me.
And I'm sure that there have been at times, just like artists, you're your own worst critic.
For sure. The worst.
But yeah, no, you answered a question I usually ask at the end, so thank you, and I'm sure anyone who was listening will definitely take that to heart.
I'm just like mind reading you.
So one question I usually ask in another different series, any experiences you like to share, funny horror stories, or just stuff you enjoyed while doing this?
Hmm.
This is kind of the curveball question that gets a lot of people.
Um, something that comes to mind, it's so random. We were doing, this is back in theatre day, we were doing children's stories. We were performing and doing children's stories. So we would have to create a children's story, create our characters, make our costumes, create our scripts, and have it kid friendly. And yeah, at one point, we had a bunny, and we suggested that we were like, you look so pale, you need to put some black, you know, around your eyes. And the guy at the time, he put eyeliner on, and we were like, now you just look like a killer bunny, and this just looks like horrifying. This does not look like kid friendly at all.
It went from
oh god, it went to like it went horror real quick. And then we had another character that had like all of her stuffing coming out of her costume every time she like ran around the stage. And then our set fell down. We had this moon, and the moon fell into the water, and we were just like, ooh, the moon fell into the water. It's just everything like was wrong.
Everything that can go wrong did go wrong.
And you know, the kids were like freaked out by the rabbit, and like it was just so. But what I learned is that we all kind of like, there was a point where we were like, oh my god, what do we do? But then suddenly there was like a turning point where we just made it work, and we just used it, and we took ownership of it. And then it became really charming, and then really funny, and then it worked. So it kind of was like a learning curve to, yeah, just to, you know, if things go wrong, you just gotta roll with it. Enjoy it almost.
I mean, it sounds like despite it almost turned into like a horror movie, it seems like in the end there was a happy ending, so to speak.
Yeah. No kids were harmed.
Oh, that's good.
Everyone was fine when they left. But yeah, that just came to mind because when you said, is there any horror? And I was like, well,
it just
that was so long ago. God, that's so weird. That popped into my brain. But yeah.
So, two more questions. Have you ever done any voice acting roles before? I mean, would Buckethead's technique in a way count?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But like solely, like, you know, doing a commercial animation or something. I've done a few like indie projects, and they're like, oh, can you, you know, you've got the British voice, can you put that on top? Yeah, but I haven't like specifically booked like a cool like animation gig, or which I would love to do. But yeah, I've had some really cool fun auditions for them, but yeah, I haven't specifically booked like a big professional gig in voiceover. But yeah, that'll come, that'll happen.
Nice.
It will come when it's ready.
Any last minute so before we end this, any last minute advice or anything else you'd like to add in to this before we end this podcast?
Yeah, do some improv.
It's a good way to get it's a good way to get your foot in the door too, if someone's considering or wanted to, you know, do this, you know, as a full-time thing.
Yeah, there's such a great community in improv. You get to just let loose, but also a lot of grounding. There's a lot of grounding in improv, and you're in the improv world and you're like, oh my god, there's so many things I'm learning, and wow. But then when you come out of the improv world, and then suddenly, because there's like veterans, right? And then suddenly you're on set and they're like, hey, you know what? We just need to do this. All of a sudden you're already doing it, and everyone's like, whoa. And you're like, oh yeah, I did the thing. Because you don't realize how quickly you're progressing, and how much skills and and everything you're accumulating so quickly, because you're with people that are just magnificent in improv all the time. You just feel like the underdog. But then when you're in the big world, in the big wide world, you are not. You kill it. Yeah.
Nice.
That's my bit of advice.
No, that's some pretty sound advice for anyone who's listening. So yeah, I think that should honestly do it. Again, Victoria, thank you for coming on to Geeking Out.
Yeah.
And being the second acting guest for this podcast. Again, thank you.
Well, it's my pleasure, Wayne. Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
It was fun. It was nice talking to you.
Likewise.
Yeah.
And again, I'm Wayne the Unknown. Thank you for listening to this episode of Geeking Out. Until next time, thank you for listening, and also thank you for watching.